What is going on, you beautiful people? We just finished another 20-minute Muay Thai session. Listen, I've been coming to my MMA gym for about 7 months now. That's when I started my MMA journey. And I've been doing boxing, I've been doing Muay Thai, I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's been a whole thing. I mean, listen, I'll be upfront and honest with you. I've been inconsistent, but I've still been showing up when I can, the best I can. And let me tell you something about what I learned about my switch kicks for Muay Thai. Now, I used to have terrible, well, it's kicks in general. I used to have terrible kicks in general because it felt like I wasn't giving enough force when I was doing my kicks. But I realized when I was, watching over the footage, I was stepping too close to the bag. And that might be something that you guys are also doing too. So like, something about me, I didn't realize, my coach was like, your reach is farther than you think. So I was like up close and personal. I felt like that, like when I stand next to the bag and I put my fist out, or I get in my boxing stance and I put my fist out, I'm like, that's my reach. But you don't realize when you're moving around, your reach is always changing. So it's actually further than you think. And plus, sometimes you gotta take a step in and you don't account for that step. You just say, all right, this is my reach right here. So, you're punching, doing your combos, but what happens when you throw your kick? Like, your leg and your arm, they're much longer, or your leg is much longer than your arm. So if you're right here and you're still close, then 100% when you do your kicks, it's not gonna be good. So something that I did that you guys might also want to try, I'm not saying this works for everybody, this just works for me. Take a step back, take half a foot back than you normally do, and see how your punches, your kicks are. Because when you're moving around, when you're actually sparring, it's different than on a heavy bag. But when you're sparring, you're moving around, your reach is always, it's different every single time. So I thought my reach was right here, but if I take a half step back or a full step back, all right, that makes more sense. This is more my teeping range. So when I do that, and it also helps with my kick. Because if I'm just in range with my punches and I try to do my kick, I might get some distance, but I don't feel like I can whip it hard enough. It just doesn't feel right to me. So if I take, a half step back, your legs are longer. So now try to do your kick here, and it makes sense. Your legs are longer, so take a foot step back, a half step back to reach your target. That's something that I was learning as well as my hips. I didn't realize how tight they were, so that's why I had this bad boy. You can have like a box. It can be a regular 24 or 30-inch box. I like to play with this because you can, this is the base level, but you can adjust it on height. And what I like to do to work on my teeps and to work on height is I'll put this close to the bag, like this, and I like to have it against something, so when I kick it, it doesn't usually fly. It doesn't really matter, it's totally personal preference. I'm just gonna angle it this way so you guys can see. Because a lot of people, when they teep, I realized this too, I didn't have my legs high enough, so when I was teeping, I was like kicking too low. So what the bar is gonna do is gonna help you raise your teep more. So to practice it. And it works on balance as well. Otherwise, you're gonna kick the box, you're gonna kick whatever it is. So practice that. Put something in front of the box and try, of course, work. This also helps with distance, because wherever the box is, you don't want to be too close. You're gonna be hitting the box, and you're gonna work on teeps and work on balance. I'm still learning as well. Listen, like I said, I've been doing this for 7 months, but that means, it wasn't 7 months straight, it was pretty inconsistent. I'm still learning new things every day. One thing about like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I know we're talking about Muay Thai, but with BJJ, it takes 10 years to get a black belt from a white belt if you really grind it out. I don't even know if it is if you're inconsistent, like 1 month on, 1 month off. That's a weird schedule, but that's my schedule. So this is a long game. 7 months sounds like a lot, but there's still so much I have to learn. And these are a few things that I figured helped me, might help you as well. Not only with your teeps, making sure you're raising your leg high enough to teep, having a box, having something like this, and this is adjustable too, you can raise it higher or lower, really helps, as well as distance. I didn't realize I was too close to the freaking bag, and it was hindering my ability to turn and to really get in more power. Because I mean, shoot, if you're up close and you're doing all your elbows or whatever, that's great. But what happens if you have the teep? You know, you don't have that much distance. Take a step back, give yourself some space in order for your legs to finally reach. Okay? That's like my range. It's about a foot away because you're always moving, you're checking, you're kicking. And I'm still learning as well. This is a long game. We're in it for the long haul. But that's some things that I learned that might help you as well. And please, this is a channel to encourage beginners, to help people who are also on their MMA journey. It doesn't have to be Muay Thai. It doesn't have to be MMA in general. It just could be any physical endeavor. You know, the advice that I give is advice I wish I had when I started, or advice that helps me keep going. Because, I mean, anyone who knows any physical pursuit, any goal they set, whether it's working out, dieting, MMA, it gets mentally taxing. Same as physical, but you know, some words of encouragement can go a long way. So that's why I made this channel, to encourage you both in your MMA journey and your physical endeavor, and to help spread any positivity that I can, and share tips I wish I knew when I started. Like I said, it's a little difficult. One thing I still have to work on, that someone in the comments down below can let me know, is my switch kicks. Because I'm comfortable, like this is another tip as well, if you're uncomfortable with your switch kicks, because sometimes I thought, like, I had a really wide stance when I was doing Muay Thai, because I was coming from boxing background, so I always had a big stance, so I was always doing all that, and I had to get used to the Muay Thai stance, and I didn't realize how, you know, small of a step it was going to be to do that, and there's always turning your hips over and doing all that. I'm still trying to learn that, so I gave myself some distance. Oh yeah, start in a southpaw stance. So if you're orthodox, you know, you're right-handed, your jab, your left hand is out in front, and it goes the same with Muay Thai as well. You know, your left leg is in front. So start with the southpaw stance, like this. This helped me because I was already in. I didn't have to switch kick. I think the switching mechanism always tripped me up. But when I started just getting in a southpaw stance, and I tried working with it, I felt a lot stronger, I felt a lot better. Let me see, I have there's my distance, you take a step out. I was also stepping in, so when I stepped in, I closed the gap. So my switch kicks, it felt shorter. So instead of stepping in, I was stepping out. Listen, I know I'm blabbering, I'm throwing a lot at you, but that's how it goes in MMA. When you're in class, everybody's doing their own thing, everybody's kicking, and you know, coaches say, hey, switch your stance, do this and that. You know, personal trainers one-on-one is great, but in what I've noticed from my experience in class, everything happens so fast, so you gotta really just pick it up as you go. And the biggest thing I've learned is just the consistency. Just getting thrown in there in a Muay Thai class, BJJ, boxing class, even if you don't know your combinations, even if you don't know your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then you got your elbows, and then there's this weird spinning thing that I have yet to do, and then there's checks, and then there's teeps, and then there's roundhouses, and make sure you're on your ball of your feet. There's so much. But the biggest thing I learned was just show up to class. Try to learn one thing. Don't try to take it in all in as you learn, because it's going to be so much for you. Just try to pick one thing, and that's it. If it's a jab, work on the jab. If they're learning jab cross and all these combos, don't even worry about it. Just focus on one punch. Next class, work on the cross, and just take one thing at a time, because it's really a slow game. That's what I've learned, and that's what's worked best for me. So yeah, I hope it helps somebody, whether it's your helping with your teeps, having a box in front of the bag, or taking a step back and really gauging your reach, having a foot to spare, because you're always going to be moving around. And you know, if you're doing your switch kicks, start in an orthodox stance instead of a southpaw stance instead of an orthodox stance, to help with those kicks. I don't like this ground. This is my new MMA gym, And this ground is tough. The other one was mats, and it was much softer, so it's a little harder to spin on these. But those are some things that I'm still working on, and I hope it helped somebody out today. And without further ado, in case no one has told you yet today, I love you, you matter, you have value. And let me say something I haven't said before. I really do want to say something I have said before. When you take your first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, Muay Thai, boxing, Judo, Sambo, whatever mixed martial art class it is, listen, I remember my first time, I didn't know a single thing what I was doing. My technique was terrible, and it felt embarrassing because I looked silly. I didn't know what I was doing, and I wanted to keep up with the class because I wanted to learn. I was ambitious, and I wanted to learn. But you got to be patient and humble enough to know that your ability is like a baby. You don't want to throw so much at a baby. Who wants to throw things at a baby? Take one thing at a time, okay? Slow and steady wins the race. Just show up to class. You know, I've talked about consistency, but when you show up, the actual feeling of tension, of nervousness, of embarrassment, of looking silly, it's gonna be hard, and it's something that you actually just have to face head on. And no one can really teach you that. You have to just show up and experience it for yourself. And everyone has. Every champion, every winner, every loser has faced it. But just showing up is what makes you better. I don't think I've said that before. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you.